What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulWrestling.com. It is December 17th. We got Monday Night Raw to talk about. A new era, so they said. Lots of stuff that was speculated that would unfold. This show brought to you by FightfulSelect.com. If you were a subscriber to FightfulSelect.com, right now you can see my match ratings. You got an update on the call-ups, and you got the information that call-ups were going to happen. I didn't have enough to publish a report on Fightful.com, so I posted shortly before this show that several call-ups were planned, although no timetable was given on those. Also, I put on there that I was told that Kevin Owens was way closer to being ready for a return than almost anyone expected. But that's not it. This morning, I posted pay-per-view leftovers. It's where I put together a card based on people who weren't on the pay-per-view. This weekend, myself and Simon Willis had a Fightful Books It podcast Q&A edition where you all asked us how we would book certain talent. There was the Weekender from Steven Jensen where he talked about SCI trios. He talked about Aldis versus Jake Hager, Ring of Honor Final Battle, the TV tapings, Ring of Honor TV, Impact TV, BTE, WWE, TLC, any other combination of initials you could think of. I had an exclusive on the Ring of Honor Dojo news that came out about how Future of Honor is doing live events. We have our Back in the Day clip where I interviewed Matt Hardy in character. I did a Q&A podcast. I answered 70 questions. You all can ask unlimited questions there. You had early access to Joe Holbert's column about Baron Corbin. You have early access to my story about Dave Lagana. You got the NXT Review podcast, NXT and 205 Live podcast. Early access to my David McLean interview. He's from Glow, Women of Wrestling. Just a ton of stuff. I'm done shilling it, my friends. If I haven't sold you on FightfulSelect.com yet, probably not going to, so just check it out. But tonight, I am joined by Alex Pawlowski, and I understand, Alex, you are also ushering in a new era.
Yeah, it's a fresh start for me, too. Decided I'd host the podcast from now on as Snowman, because it makes just as much sense as some of the fresh start, new changes they're making on Raw. So, why not?
So tell me, you're in Wisconsin right now, Milwaukee, correct?
Yep, that's true.
As we know, great storylines happen in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It is 26 degrees there right now?
Yep, currently, yep.
You're safe. You're good to go right now.
Yeah, I'm good to go. Yep, no, it's absolutely true.
You got highs in the 40s this week.
Right. It's tough. I might have to crank up the AC to prevent from melting.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. There's a lot of plugs I could get into right now, but since I just went off in that Fightful Select tirade, I'll opt against that. We are here for every post-Raw, post-SmackDown programming note for next week. I should be around for the Christmas Eve episode of Raw and a post-show podcast. Alex will be traveling. New Year's Day, I'll be doing a Raw post-show podcast. I will not be here as the clock strikes 12 on midnight for New Year's Eve. In fact, we are doing that show the next day at noon. I'll be here to talk about it. But we've got a lot of other stuff coming up soon. UFC 232, Wrestle Kingdom right after the holiday season. I hope you all join us. And I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Leave a thumbs up on this video if you would be so kind, and subscribe. We kicked off this show with Vince McMahon coming out. Now, this is the break glass in case of emergency thing that they always seem to do, Alex. Anytime the ratings are low, the viewership is really low, they bring out Vince McMahon. And it wasn't just Vince McMahon, it was Stephanie McMahon, and then it was Triple H, and then it was Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
What had you anticipated for this?
Not this. I mean, I figured it was going to be Vince and Stephanie. I didn't think they were going to bring out Hunter. I damn sure didn't think they were going to cross. I mean, this is crazy. We're gonna bring over SmackDown people, and now the SmackDown people are going to be running Raw, and the Raw people are going to be running SmackDown. It's chaos.
I guess you could call it Christmas chaos.
It could be Christmas chaos, yeah.
Full disclosure, guys, Alex said, yeah, I'm going to take this mask off because you won't be able to hear me. And I said, Alex, we can hear you surprisingly well.
Yeah, it's good.
It is good. I like that it matches the sweater.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I was, fully
Fashion is
coordinated.
important on
Yeah,
Fightful.com.
absolutely.
If it's important to you guys, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Fightful. Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon really hammer this home, but Stephanie says, we haven't been listening to the audience, but this is in a completely kayfabe perspective. And I saw you took exception to that, but when I see them do that, I'm like, that's the way they have to go. If that's their way of saying, we get it, we realize, we understand, but they blame it on Baron Corbin, I'm okay with that, because you don't want those 9-year-olds in the crowd saying, Dad, what the hell are they talking about? Storyline writers? What's a storyline writer?
Right. And I don't need them to do that. The problem I have with it is that they conveniently forgot that Stephanie put Baron in charge and told him to do a bunch of the stuff. It was she that fired Kurt Angle, at least sent him on vacation. Baron was just there as like the constable for a while. Then she promoted him to interim general manager. It was her doing. She did it. Everything that Baron did, he did at the behest of Stephanie McMahon. So for her to come out and be like, it's all Baron's fault, that crazy guy doing crazy stuff, I certainly didn't think that was very good. That's just a lie. You're lying to us.
Triple H looks in good spirits after his surgery last month, but in a kayfabe perspective, you had 4 characters who have traditionally on WWE programming been politic crazy, starved for attention, and valued themselves over others as authority figures and just wrestlers oftentimes.
Yeah.
All of these people have won championships via selfish, nefarious methods.
True.
All of them.
Yes.
And they're saying, no more. The tyranny is over. And I'm thinking, hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up now.
Yeah.
I wish I could think of a dictator to compare them to that perhaps was just a little evil, not like super genocide, just a little bit evil.
Right. No,
you can't just do that.
There used to be, a lot of, what they used to call benevolent despots that ruled their country with an iron fist, but weren't like commit genocide or anything. They were just like absolutely firmly in control. No one questioned their authority. And, that was it. There wasn't anything else to it. They weren't rounding up people and putting them in camps. They were just, firmly in control, and there was no Congress to checks and balances. That's what these people are.
Shane says the same thing about SmackDown Live, and I'm thinking, hold up, homeboy. Just because you haven't been around on SmackDown Live doesn't mean we haven't. It's been an okay show. Paige, I tweeted to somebody, has been probably the most consistent WWE character in years.
Yeah.
It's weird.
This is weird. This is something that I tweeted out that on a classic episode of The Simpsons. Homer says that alcohol is the cause of and solution to all of life's problems. And that's what the authority is in WWE. They are the cause of, and they present themselves as the solution to all of WWE's problems. You can't, I think it's fine. They can present it in kayfabe. Oh, it's all Baron Corbin's fault. He was in charge of all of this terrible stuff. But anyone with a brain who's been watching the product should know, no, he's just playing a role that you saddled him with. It's your fault this is like this. So I'm really not talking hey, how dare you guys present this to me? I'm really saying to Sacramento, guys, Baron's just doing his job, man. They gave him a script and he performed the character. Why are it felt like they were not, we were having our intelligence actively insulted, and they just went with it. And it felt like you guys could have, been smarter about it.
Baron Corbin comes out to giant boos and an abrupt commercial, just bam, 10-minute mark.
Yeah, it was weird. I think the problem is, I didn't feel like they had less commercial breaks over the course of the night. And they had to smash one in here now because we're not going to be able to use one later. Even the gauntlet match at the end had lots of commercials in it. So I don't know. It's a new era and a fresh start. Maybe that means more ad breaks.
This was abrupt, just almost rude in its abruptness.
Yeah.
But apparently they kept the Baron Corbin tries to talk and gets booed thing going through the commercial, and good for them. They had to do some house show related stuff, but this continues even longer than they expected. And everybody was kind of freestyling in the ring about it. Corbin isn't happy. He says what happened to him last night wasn't fair, and it wasn't something he was prepared for. And I'm thinking, you know what Raw needs? More of these 20-minute talking segments that I loved so much in 2003.
Yeah. Listen, this whole thing comes down to, listen, we haven't been paying attention to what our audience wants, and now you are the authority. What you want, that's what we're going to give you. So they think we want this.
Yeah.
20 minutes of talking segments, rematches from last night's pay-per-view, the same stuff we've seen over and over and over again.
Hey, we didn't technically have a rematch from last night's pay-per-view.
Well, not necessarily a technically rematch, but like rehashes of stuff that happened last night. Also, no mention of the fact that we have an absentee champion on Raw. Like, if this is a new era and you're really doing what the fans want, there's no way Brock can walk out of the Royal Rumble with the title.
They bring up absentee management, and I'm thinking, homeboy, Shane was absentee management.
Yeah.
He wasn't there for a long time, to the point that I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Didn't even remember the man existed. What? Okay, so let's go ahead and expand here. Baron Corbin gets put into a match where his general managership is put on the line. I'm okay with that. Now, before we talk about that, I want to talk about this promo. Now, I'm okay with this promo going 20 minutes because the crowd was there and they were into it, and the crowd was all about these four people letting Baron Corbin have it. I'm cool with it. I had argued on the Listen Ya Boy, and maybe even our podcast, Alex, that WWE is in a position not to where I think they have to, but where they really should become not a babyface territory, but a listen to the crowd territory.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to point to this fabled casual fan as if there are some pocket of casual fans who will watch once every month or so that directly hate the thing that the actual paying customer does.
Right.
You know what I like? People who pay. That's what I like.
I think it's weird that the casual fan is actually, like, people use that, but what they mean is people who loved wrestling in 1998 and think it should be that way now. And like, well, that's not casual. You know
what I liked in 1996? Fucking Power Rangers, man. I was a fan. I'm not watching it no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. The Simpsons. I'm not tuning into that no matter what. Sometimes you grow out of stuff.
Yeah.
The Simpsons could tell me that I am on an episode next week and I still might not tune into it.
Right.
It's just the way it is. People grow out of stuff. And the idea that there is this mythical casual fan that would be like, would tune in and en masse say, wow, I know all those people in this live crowd like this, but screw it. There are going to be some people that do that because human beings are individuals and they think individually, and entertainment is subjective. But I am not with this idea that it's like that a casual fan is going to tune in and be like, oh man, the Ascension. Wow, they're great. and the hardcore fan doesn't agree with them. I think that honestly, it would, by and large, probably to the tune of about 70 to 80%, have some major crossover with what the people who show up to that show, the people who tune into that show, the people who watch this show, the people who buy merchandise, what they like as well. I think that is an accurate reflection, and those people are spending money.
Yeah.
So, Baron Corbin, either way, has his opportunity to retain his general managership.
Yep.
He's facing Kurt Angle. Now, when I hear that, I'm like, I don't know if from a kayfabe perspective, I think that Kurt has a good shot against Baron Corbin. So I'm glad that they added these bells and whistles.
Well, sure.
When Kurt first came out.
Well, I thought, okay, again, it's weird to have Stephanie McMahon come out and be like, I'm great and you all like me now because I hate Baron Corbin. And to prove it, I'm going to bring out my fighting champion, Kurt Angle, who I personally said to hit the bricks.
Excuse me, sir, she kissed him once. So who are you to say? Who are you to say? He patted him on the back while he kissed him. So as this match continued, and really through the first commercial break, Baron Corbin was getting the best of this. And from that perspective, it made sense. They didn't announce all this extra stuff until it looked like Kurt Angle was in a little bit of trouble. Then they're like, okay, Kurt, we're going to bail you out here. Keep in mind, Triple H, who wrestled Kurt Angle at WrestleMania this year.
Right.
Stephanie McMahon, who fired Kurt Angle. Shane McMahon, who was thrown through a plate glass window by Kurt Angle.
Yep.
But it's brought out that it's a handicap match. You have Rude, Gable, and Apollo. I am still amazed every time that Gable's Rude Salt hits. That is an impressive double team maneuver.
It is. I think I get what they're doing, like with Corbin, like, a little taste of your own medicine. Remember how you for several weeks would come out and say, oh, I forgot to say it's a handicap match, or oh, I neglected to mention it's a no disqualification match. Well, hoisted by your own petard. And yeah, fine, but okay. It's so weird for these people. Like, we all know you guys have been basically on-screen dicks for most of the time that you've been in WWE. So to come out tonight and be like, we hear you. We're on your side. You're the authority now. We're all baby faces, right? It just feels like it's just so slapdash and like they expect us to just forgive everything immediately. And I'm like, I don't believe you.
Yeah, I'm open. I'm a little optimistic, but and there are going to be some people that say, oh, why don't you put a hard reset on your attitude? And I'm like, well, because I don't work like that. I got to cover the show objectively still. And I often point out I'm so much more lenient on like those retro reviews. Like, people say, you seem a lot more optimistic. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have to worry about whatever dumbass thing WCW did on Nitro the next week after I cover World War III 98.
Right.
So I have to worry, how will this look? How will this be? And I think they didn't hit a checkmate tonight, but I think they moved a lot of chess pieces around and did a lot of positive things that could have ramifications down the line. So this is then made a no DQ match. Heath Slater's the referee. Ass kicking buffet here. Angle slam gets the win. I do like that when the crowd chanted, "We want tables," they were like, all right, we're going to go get this table. Let's put him through it. Why not? Although the commentary was amazingly patronizing.
Oh, so throughout most of the night, it was bad. I didn't left a sour taste in my mouth for much of it.
Yeah, but I do like that was a good way and a nice audible that was called to say, all right, well, we're going to do this. We're going to try it. Now, I hope to God they don't start chanting for tables every single time, but
yeah.
Finn Bálor versus Dolph Ziggler. We get a dropkick from Ziggler that leads us to a commercial break. We come back and see Bálor in control as he gets an Eye of the Hurricane and a sling blade. Ziggler reverses the front dropkick into a big DDT. Zigzag follows, but it's a 2 count. McIntyre comes out and distracts Bálor to the point where Ziggler got a Faymaster, probably my favorite spot of the match. Then Drew takes out both guys, and I'm thinking, maybe not the new Raw direction I'm thinking, but if we get a triple threat out of these two or out of these three, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
I'd be all right. They're filming Raw right now. I'll do a spoiler post when that Raw is done. But what do you think of this match, Alex?
Finn and Dolph went out there and they tried to have a fantastic match. And the whole time I was thinking to myself, okay, new era. Let's see. Let's watch it. Let's see what happens. What's the crazy stuff? Is Lars Sullivan going to come in and run in? Like, what's the new stuff? Oh, it's Drew. Drew's running in. Well, that's fine. I mean, that's the continuation of the angle they started last night. That makes sense. Okay, cool. They're going to get to the new and the new fresh start, the new era stuff. That's going to come in the next segment. Okay, I'm just going to wait. So most of the night I was just waiting for the new fresh start and the new era to start. And I didn't see it yet.
Dean Ambrose came out. We got more of the all you people thing while he trolled Seth Rollins and tried to goad him into coming out.
Yeah.
I thought that after the misfire that was last night, they were going to drop that. They didn't.
Yeah, it does seem like it was one of those things of like, oh, I see. Yeah. So it was probably just stuff that the wrestlers were doing. That's why they had Seth Rollins apologize for what was going on. I heard everything they were saying, and I apologize. That's on me. No, Seth, that's not on you. That's on the WWE for completely messing up what should have been a white-hot feud. So the fact that they had Dean come out and double down on the "You People" promo, which is what kind of, killed the feud, because they had him come down and double down on that, as well as have Seth later in the night say, "That's on me. That's my fault. I did this. I am the one to blame for why they were saying this is boring." It just shows to me that I don't think you actually are listening to the fans, or maybe you're hearing stuff, but you just don't know where it's coming from.
So Dean Ambrose couldn't get Seth Rollins to come out and institutes an open challenge answered by Tyler Breeze. These two actually do have a measure of experience together. They were in a WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament match against one another 3 years ago. I thought that this was a great way to promote the fact that Tyler Breeze had been on NXT recently, and shout outs to Cole for mentioning that. I'm okay with this. Whoever's handy at Gorilla accepts this challenge. It makes sense. It gets somebody on TV. It's an NXT name drop.
Yes.
It was a perfectly fine match, too.
Absolutely. I thought when he came out, I was like, we're going to get like 15 seconds of this before it's revealed that Seth is one of the guys in the gas masks, right? And I was like, oh, no, we're actually in a real match. Oh, cool. Seth, like Tyler's actually getting some good offense in, showing what he can do. He had that amazing match with Ricochet. Like, is this the beginning of a mini Tyler Breeze push? Oh my God, dare I allow myself to think, possibly, as part of this crazy new era thing, the shakeup, all new things are happening. You talked about how there are going to be fresh faces coming in and some old faces are going to get opportunities they haven't in the past. Is Seth going to cost Dean the match? Tyler Breeze becomes Intercontinental Champion. Dean and Seth can have their fight without it being a part of the title match. Seth can get his title match against Tyler Breeze in a couple of weeks. Is that something we're going to get? No. Dean wins the match, and then 2 minutes later, we get Seth.
You didn't really expect Tyler Breeze to win this.
I allowed myself to think it was possible. I didn't.
Then they sold you a ticket. Great.
Exactly. Right.
They sold you a ticket. It works.
They told me I was the authority, and what I say goes.
Good point. It's a damn
so
good point.
I demand to get what I want at all times.
I'll let you expect completely irrational things because of that. Ambrose puts the pain on Breeze, but Breeze is able to come back with the Hurricane Rana, a beauty shot, and a super kick. That Dirty Deeds that Dean Ambrose hit was a good one. He snapped that one with great velocity.
It was a good one. Yeah, I like that one.
That was one of the best ones I've seen him do, and of course, Tyler Breeze taking it doesn't hurt either. A fine performance from both. Fandango is getting ready to come back. He's training for a return, so you have that.
Good.
Ambrose goes off again about Rollins not being there, but Rollins is there. He's in the SWAT outfit. Yep. Maybe I should put in my stat piece. First time Rollins has worn SWAT gear in 2.5 months. But he attacks. It's a super kick. Beats up Dean Ambrose. What'd you think of this? You knew this was coming at some point.
Oh no! Listen, I knew Seth was one of the guys in the gas mask. As I knew it immediately. Then I was just like, when's he gonna interfere, and which one of them is he? And when they got through the entire match without him interfering, I was like, oh, maybe he's not, because it's kind of weird that they would let go through the entire. Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, fine. Okay, great. I mean, it continues this feud, which we know is going to happen anyway. Yeah, okay. I feel like Seth should probably do a little bit better background checks of his dudes in gas masks. You know, maybe.
Well, here's the thing. That was covered a little bit because Corey Graves said, "Are these close personal friends of yours and Ambrose, Renee?" And she goes, "No, I don't know who the hell those guys are."
Right.
I like that. That was consistent. Little things like that.
Yeah.
Calls up and crappenings. We got some stuffs going on. I posted on FightfulSelect.com tonight that Kevin Owens was closer to a return than many expected. So is Sami Zayn. They got different vignettes. I thought this was a good couple of things to put on a show where you're promoting changing, new faces, a couple of good established faces back in the fold. That's good news, Alex.
Yeah. I am not super opposed to any of these call-ups. I think
we're talking Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Now.
Sorry. You broke up there for a second. I thought you were talking about that. I'm happy that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are coming back. It's one of those things where I don't know. I kind of loved heel Sami Zayn, and I'm not done with him yet, especially if he's on the same brand with Daniel Bryan, because I just love the idea of him like sidling up to Daniel Bryan as champion back and like, hey, told you so. Told you you would actually, you should have been listening to Kevin and I, because that was what they were telling him the whole time, was like, Daniel, you should be like us. And he actually did listen to them. I think that's kind of cool. Also, let's not forget that they somehow immediately turned Kevin Owens babyface in that last match with Bobby Lashley, and it looks like they're bringing him back as a heel.
Well, they don't know what they're bringing him back as yet. There was a discussion about that backstage this weekend, actually.
I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
And when I was told that he was going to be ready by Royal Rumble, and that was just this weekend, I was like, really?
That's fast.
Double knee surgery? He recovered from that Elton John concert cancellation way quicker than I thought he would. And keep in mind, Sami Zayn, double shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
He was targeting WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So this is a situation where usually they would have went the surprise route with these guys and the other call-ups, but they know that they need to build some suspense. I'm okay with the balance. For years, they have went the surprise route with stuff like this. And I am more than fine, even though your boy won't get those scoops and post them like I have been all year.
Right.
I'm okay with that. It's smart business to do that, to go ahead and promote the fact that these guys are going to be on the show. Speaking of people who are going to be on the show, Lacey Evans, Heavy Machinery, EC3, Lars Sullivan, and Nikki Cross. We're going to go by these one by one. Lacey Evans, Alex.
Yeah, she's the one I have the most qualms about, but I don't think she's ever going to be a women's champion. I don't think she ever needs to be. As opposed to people like Ruby Riott, who I feel like has a real future as a top contender throughout, this thing. So that when people get called up from NXT and they were champions in NXT or almost champions in NXT, and I think to myself, these guys should have a rocket strapped to them. They're so amazing, and they come up to the main roster and they fizzle out. I go, well, I get disappointed. But if Lacey Evans comes up and has a little mini push and then gets pushed to the wayside, I won't mind so much. But I do think she could add something to the heel division of whatever show she's on.
I think, based on what I've seen, and I've covered her quite a bit when I did the Weekender podcast and when I covered NXT before Warren took it over for me, I was really excited for her when you had Bálor, the Japanese women that came in. Mm-hmm. You had Duke and Shafir, people who had come up in a background where you had to learn how to shoot before you worked, because she really needed that. From what I've seen, like, she's got really great physical tools and just needs to refine it a little bit. And also, she should treat her matches a little more like they're a fight. Like, there are times I see where she should be going for a pin. She doesn't go for a pin. Yeah. And I think when you get shoot-minded wrestlers like Io Shirai and Kairi Sane and Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir and Shayna Baszler, these people who know knockout, submission, pin above all else,
right?
Before go to the next spot, go to the next spot, go to the next spot. I think that's something that could have really helped her. I honestly hope that she gets in there with Ronda Rousey a little bit. That's weird for me to say out loud. Hey, I hope she gets in there with this woman who's been wrestling for 9 months and can really help her. Asuka would be a good person to help lead Lacey Evans through. I would put her on the loops with Asuka immediately and have them work together. So that's an interesting one. Heavy Machinery. They are, in my estimation, their ceiling is too cool if they're lucky, if they're real lucky. And that's a good ceiling to have.
Yeah. These guys will be huge with kids and on the house show circuit. Like Otis Dozovich is so engaging. Like he actually had a really good one-on-one title match with Tommaso Ciampa a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like he's good. I think Tucker Knight hitched himself to the right wagon because I think Dozovich carries that team. I think these guys could be a lot of fun. Again, if they're never champs at WWE, it's not a giant thing that I'm going to be like really upset about. Although I do love Dozer. I think he's fantastic. But I think these guys could easily be a very good addition to either SmackDown or Raw, and just fill out the tag team division. Like, listen, if these guys are on SmackDown, then you don't need to make believe that that the Colognes have been there the whole time when you have to fill out a Survivor Series team. You can actually use these guys instead. And they're younger, they're hungry, actually hungry for steaks, and push them up there. Let them do something.
I said a while back on Fightful Select, it's like you look at Otis and you just know Vince McMahon would see him and go, ha ha ha! I gotta have him.
Yeah, I think Vince must love that guy.
I gotta have him and Henry Godwin. Is that who that is? Lars Sullivan. I hope he is Braun Strowman fodder. Honestly, I don't see it. I don't get it.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, I always remind myself that when they called up Elias, I said, this guy's got no shot.
I'm always open to it after the Elias thing exploded.
So I don't think Elias has the tools that Elias does. And I have to Google it or something, but I remember looking up and he's like 6'4" or something like that. He's not incredible. He's a big dude, but he's wide, but he's not Braun Strowman height. So I wonder how
Braun's like 6'4", isn't he?
He's 6'8". Listen to 6'8". He's wears lifts, but I don't really know.
Is he? Wow, he is not 6'8". He's like 6'5", 6'6".
Right.
But Alexa Bliss is another one. Didn't have an extended great NXT run. She was a manager.
Or Carmella. Look at how far Carmella has come since she got called up. That'll tell you right there that anything is possible. I've liked some of Lars Sullivan's matches in NXT. He's got an interesting thing about him. I wish they would let him do the thing he did for a while in NXT, where he was basically Beast from the X-Men, where he's this giant thing, this hulking beast. But they let him be like weirdly, like insidiously brilliant a few times. So I'm interested in seeing like that weird professor in a freak of nature monster body. They'll probably never do that though.
I think the next two are slam dunks. You have EC3. Yep. Is he TV ready? Well, he was TV ready 6 or 7 years ago.
Honestly, he didn't need to go to NXT ever. He didn't need to spend a day in NXT. He was ready when they signed him from TNA.
Yeah. He was the best thing about TNA wrestling for a very, very long time.
And this is something also that's interesting about this is that all these call-ups free up a lot of space in NXT for people to maneuver around. Every time EC3 wasn't in a marquee matchup on a takeover over the past year, I was like, this guy's super ready. He's one of the most absolutely ready guys you have on the entire roster. When they're not using him, it feels weird. Now that he's not down there, you have to worry about that. Like he's not have to fight for space on TV. He's wherever he goes, Raw or SmackDown, that guy's ready for like just below main event right now.
He gets a lot of comparisons to Bobby Roode. I think he's got a way higher ceiling than Bobby Roode. I think he's got better matches than Bobby Roode. I'm not going to say he's a more polished in-ring worker than Bobby Roode, because Bobby Roode, he's very Triple H-ish in that manner. Like he's not going to do anything that makes you stand up and go, whoa, but Bobby Roode won't mess up anything either. Yeah. EC3 actively adds to his repertoire and tries new moves and steps out of the box. Look at the Velveteen Dream match. There were things in that match you didn't expect him to do.
EC3 is such an engaging character, and he can play the exact same character as heel or babyface. All it takes is a tiny tweak. He's mastered that character, the overprivileged, guy with the great suits and everything, the top 1% guy. He's mastered it, and he can tweak it either way depending on what audience he's in front of.
And credit to WWE, they could have brought him in as Ethan Carter III and made that a giant rib on Dixie Carter.
They really could have.
And 28 years ago, they would have. 100%.
They also could have brought him back as Derek Bateman and pretended that he didn't have that whole chapter of his career where he went somewhere else and became a megastar.
As soon as Impact said, hey, we're going to allow our IPs to be used elsewhere, he trademarked that. As he should have.
Yeah, absolutely.
As he should have. But he is one. If you all want some recommended viewing, maybe you're not that familiar with EC3. You want to talk about the Derek Bateman stuff, him and Daniel Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
Anything.
Yeah.
There was an interview I did with EC3 a couple years ago where he went in depth about how he and Daniel Bryan got in trouble for rigging NXT at one point with the how well do you know your pro thing. That is worth going out of your way to see. Daniel Bryan and Derek Bateman on a double date with the Bella twins, worth going out of your way to see. Daniel Bryan teaching Derek Bateman, as he would call it, a submission heel hook, worth going out of your way to see. In TNA, Rockstar Spud versus EC3 in the UK was unbelievable from both of them. I can't wait to see EC3 up there. I can't wait to see Nikki Cross up there too.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is with a reboot for Sanity. God knows they need her very, very badly.
Yeah, she could easily be the leader of that faction. And when they started it, I was like, you're giving me this post-apocalyptic intergender heel faction in NXT with these masks and everything. Like I was totally into it, and I've been wanting like a woman to be part of a faction on the main roster in for a while, and I think that she's great at it. And if you're gonna have Becky and Charlotte be preoccupied with what Ronda's doing over on Raw, then SmackDown Live could do a lot worse than having Asuka's first real challenger be Nikki Cross debuting and coming in, because they had some slobber knockers in NXT. They worked so well together. I think that'd be excellent.
I would love to see, and I'm not expecting Sanity to get a Road Warriors push, but I would love to see Nikki Cross as the Paul Ellering to them, to where she's the one that can control them. She's the leader. She's got them on a leash, more or less. And she can handle that, and she can handle herself as well. This is overdue. It should have happened a couple months ago when they brought her up. Yeah, it's really weird that it didn't.
She got a lot of great stuff on TV in NXT. She had a couple of title matches while Sanity was up on SmackDown not doing anything. So she actually got the better out of the deal. But I just love all the stuff she does with, like, when she rides Killian Dane to the ring as part of the faction. I think it's just great. She's fantastic. You're muted.
The WWE roster is heating up, and if you want to heat up, if you want to go from snowman to just Monday Night Wrestling podcaster, get a hold of some actionheat.com/Fightful. Action Heat makes the world's best battery-heated clothing. You can control your environment at the touch of a button with Action Heat. They are engineered to safely and efficiently deliver heat via heating panels, kind of like a heated car seat. They can reach temperatures up to 135 degrees and are powered by rechargeable 5-volt lithium-ion batteries that last up to 12 hours on each charge. If you want to charge up your phone or your tablet or whatever, you can do that while you're wearing these clothes. It's kind of amazing. I love the shirt. I love the gloves that I bought from them. Really great stuff. I am not a winter guy. I'm not a weather guy. If it's a light rain, it's like, all right, let me throw on some Action Heat. And this stuff provides toasty warmth and comfort for your whole body. It has men's and women's heated jackets, shirts, base layers, long johns, socks, gloves, hats. Stay warm and cozy from head to toe. The perfect holiday gift idea. There is still a week before Christmas, my friends. And you can get something from actionheat.com/Fightful starting at just $39.99. Know a skier or a snowboarder? Know somebody who wants to climb Mount Everest? actionheat.com/Fightful. And when you go there, or you use the code Fightful, you save 20% on your order. This is one of my favorite sponsors of the show. I fell in love with their gear. Anytime somebody pitches something to me, I'm like, got to check out the product or got to buy the product first and see how it is before I'm over here, with the exception of Blue Chew, because that's just fun. But that Action Heat stuff is amazing. actionheat.com/Fightful. So backstage, Shane McMahon is being interviewed, Alex. Approaching Drake Maverick and AOP. Drake Maverick says, well, we get our mandatory rematch because we were screwed last week. It wasn't fair. And then I don't know if I have a damp cloth anywhere near me, but I'm just going to wipe it. Oh, my God. You mean to tell me the WWE didn't follow through on legal action against Fightful and they're going to eliminate mandatory rematches? Merry Christmas to me.
Yep.
At least in this situation, I hope it's permanent, Alex. I've been begging for this for a long time. Mandatory rematches back you into a corner. Why do you need them? Why do you need them?
Right. The problem I have with this, though, is that tonight, if Drake Maverick had been the manager of a babyface team and had approached Shane McMahon and asked for a rematch, Shane McMahon would have granted it because it's just them playing to the crowd, and that's fine. Like of all times when a champion probably deserves a rematch, it's the fact that like nobody in their actual team got pinned. Probably grants them a possible rematch. And the fact that we'll talk about this later, that AOP didn't win the match to determine the contender. If AOP doesn't get back those belts soon, then wow, they have mismanaged that team since they've been up on the main roster. Those guys are great, and they're just not being utilized properly. So while I agree with your statement in theory, in this particular instance, I'm like, okay, fine, but figure out a way to do right by AOP because your stupid writing with having Drake Maverick take the pin cost them in a way that they probably shouldn't have.
He took the pin in a handicap match. It was 3-on-2.
Yeah, it was more of that terrible writing that came out of him peeing on a robe in a toilet that started this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think they got screwed. It was Drake Maverick that screwed them over, and he should try to put the heat on somebody else. That's what he was doing. He was putting the heat on somebody else, so he didn't have it. But they're given an opportunity in a 4-way top contender match. The Revival wins, defeating B Team, Lucha House Party, and AOP. Lucha House Party is the most goddamn annoying team. How are they baby faces after the last few weeks?
Well, I mean, the only 2 of them fought tonight, right?
Yeah, but the sound maker and all that.
you mean
the Vuvuzela?
the Vuvuzelies?
Yeah.
No, you know, I mean, it's a Vuvuzela, says Renee Young, who apparently was wearing track pants over a figure skating costume tonight. What the hell? Like, she did not look right.
Listen, I might tell pro wrestlers when they're bumping wrong. I'm not telling Renee Young how to dress. She's got me there.
If you missed it,
guy in a snowman sweater.
Well, I know I look fly. She did not.
Jesus. Oh. They kick the Revival's ass. We go to a commercial. Nothing really happens. BT and Revival end up duking it out. Dallas gets that au revoir on Dawson, but Dash breaks it up. AOP come in the ring, but Dawson and Dallas band together to get them out, then launch Lucha House Party over the top rope onto them.
Yep.
The Shatter Machine wins it for Revival. This was honestly a rough, sloppy match. I watched WrestleMania 20. Me and my dude Zach Schimmel reviewed it for an upcoming retro review, and I saw a couple of 4-way tag matches there, and the term I used was trying to shove 10 pounds of shit into a 5-pound sack, and that's what this match was as well.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's one of those things like, okay, we're going to have the top 4 teams on Raw who aren't the champions in this four corners match. The Revival, who we've booked like crap for a year. AOP, who was just the champions. That's fine. But also we probably haven't booked them very well. Lucha Dragons, who are on the Cruiserweight show, and the B Team, who I forgot existed. Like, that's how bad your tag team division is. Maybe a heavy machinery should go to Raw. That's what I'm thinking.
I have multiple people direct messaging me saying, how dare Alex about Renee Young's outfit. One person who gives me scoops, another one directly in WWE.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh, no. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fashion guy. It looked like track pants over a figure skating costume. That's what it looked like. It might not have been.
Get a nerve, man.
I am not the only one who. I only saw it because somebody tweeted a link to it, and I said,
I'm just saying.
All right, listen, don't shoot the messenger, man.
I thought this was a good way to not pin AOP. It's a different kind of match than we usually see. We don't see a lot of four-way matches like that. This had stakes. Almost every match on tonight's show had stakes. You had Corbin fighting for his job. You had an Intercontinental title match. You had a top contender match, and then another top contender match. Almost everything on here mattered, and that's a good step. That's a step in the right direction. That is one of those chess pieces. That's moving the horsey up 3 and over 1, I think. I can't remember. I haven't played chess in a long time. Ronda Rousey comes out and cuts one of those weird Gatorade promos again. For Under Armour. I will protect this house as a real champion. And I'm like, okay, whatever. As long as she makes our Fightful point at the effing sign shirts relevant again,
yes,
I'm all for Ronda Rousey heading into WrestleMania season. She issues an open challenge, and we see all the women arguing at Gorilla, and they should be. They should be fighting to get out there. Tyler Breeze shouldn't just mosey on out with his selfie stick.
he's the only one at catering who's paying attention to what's going on in the ring. He's like, you guys want to go? No, me? Anybody? I'll go. Like, and no, but all the women are right there. They're waiting for it.
Somehow, these women who in fact do not have balls had them cut off by Stephanie as she goes, shut up! Brings them all out and sets them straight, Alex. That's what Stephanie's got to do. Somebody sent me a tweet that said, Stephanie's probably like, hey, everybody, look how tall I am. Like, you know that she's getting that framed. But she decides that there's going to be a gauntlet match. And this gauntlet match would go 53 minutes. And some people complained about it. I liked the match. This match, I didn't know it was going to take the whole hour. Pleasantly surprised that it did. I'm all on board with it. You got everybody on this roster time. I want to know what you think of the idea.
Listen, I'm of two minds about it. I think it's good that the women got a lot of time. I think that they all of them showed something. It was for a title shot on a pre-taped Christmas Eve episode of Raw that you know the challenger can't possibly win because wrestling. So I would love this to have been like for an actual honest to God title shot. And because then it means something. I didn't love that they booked it toward making sure that the feud between Natty and Ruby could continue for a while. I don't love that they said the crowd would rather watch Natty versus Ronda than Sasha versus Ronda. But then again, it's going to be on a pre-taped episode of Raw on Christmas Eve where the challenger has no chance of winning. So I guess it's better that Natty won. It's weird. Like all the wrestling within it was good. But I don't know that I love or hate the idea of using it now. Like use this match, this style of match when it actually determines a real honest to goodness challenger for Ronda. Then I think it would be better then.
Is she not facing Ronda Rousey next week?
No, she's facing her right now in a match that she can't possibly win because it's a pre-taped episode of Raw.
And none of these people are going to beat Ronda.
Well, yeah, yes, I agree.
What would you have rather they done here?
I don't know. They
could do the women's tag team situation. Sure, that'd be nice. But
yes.
Given what they've got now, and they got a book for next week too.
Right.
I mean, what was the alternative? Them not having anything, just completely wasting Christmas Eve Raw?
No, not necessarily. I like the idea of Ronda coming out and saying, I'm gonna challenge somebody. The champ should wrestle 24 hours after the pay-per-view. And I guess technically she does, but in canon, she doesn't, because she's wrestling next week. It would be nice if they had been able to determine it earlier in the night and then actually had the match on this episode of Raw. I don't know. I love the gauntlet as a feature, and I wish that whatever they won actually has some teeth to it. It's just a thing that I have that I don't love the idea of setting up a pre-tape, then lying and saying it's not going to be pre-taped.
I mean, man,
I just wish they wouldn't do that.
Raw on Christmas Eve, man.
I know.
I don't know what you're expecting.
I know.
Alicia and Bayley are the first ones up. We go to a commercial early. Bayley stun guns Alicia, reverses a pin with a crucifix for the win. Dana Brooke in next. And I got to say, Dana Brooke, limited action lately, hasn't done anything to offend me in the ring lately. And that's a good sign, and gotten herself in great shape as well.
She has improved, definitely.
Actively improving. Bayley to Belly finishes it off after Dana tried a lot of pins. She tried to pin Bayley a lot. Nikki James is up next. She works over Bayley with a neck breaker, but can't get the win. Bayley really selling her ass off on this knee.
Yeah,
she was doing some A+ selling. Belly to back suplex lands for Bayley, but I thought she made herself a baby face so well in this match, Alex.
Yeah, 100%. She's great, and it made me miss when Bayley matches mattered. And like you mentioned, you just dropped the idea of like women's tag titles. Hey, on the episode where you say it's a fresh start and a new era, wouldn't that be the best time to mention, yes, we're going to have women's tag team titles? Like, that would be the best time to do that. But, another opportunity slipped through their fingers.
Trying to find my place here. Oh, Bayley almost gets the win on a big flying elbow drop, but Mickey grabs the ropes. Bayley to Belly gets dropped, and Bayley's dropped over the top rope. DDT wins it for Mickey. Bayley, 21 minutes in this match. Ember Moon's on deck. She and Mickey counter each other heavily. Ember catches Mickey with a beautiful code breaker and an eclipse. Really good spots. Ember Moon I'm sitting here, I'm watching this match, and I'm thinking, I got to see Ember Moon versus Sasha Banks. I got to see Ember Moon versus Rousey. I got to see Sasha Banks versus Rousey. I got to see all these combinations that we're not seeing because they got to shoehorn in the Nia Jaxes and a lot of other people. I mean, I would put Ruby with any of those people I just mentioned, and I want to see those as well, at least for an extended point. Natalya comes in. There's a weird long rest hold here, and then she gets a win with an Okada roll. What'd you think of Ember's short performance?
I think Ember's fantastic. I think she sells her ass off. She's super athletic. I love Ember Moon, and I want her to get title matches and major parts on Raw. I think that for a while when she was in NXT, we talked about how her promo work was so bad. We just didn't know if she was ever going to make it on the main roster, but they don't have a lot of women like talking all that much. So, and I think she improved before she left NXT. So I'm ready for I think it's a weird deal with Ronda as not only the focal point and the champion of the women's division, but the focal point of Raw, basically, since Brock's nowhere to be found. Like, they have Ronda there, and so you have this feuding her with Ember Moon would seem like not big enough, small potatoes. So I feel like as long as Ronda is this focal point of Raw, you're not going to see Ember with her, even though I think that Ember and Ronda could have amazing matches together. And I'd love to see it. I just don't know if I'm going to get to.
Ruby Riott is up next, and they wrestle kind of a watered-down version of their previous matches. Natalya's suplexes are very nice, very crisp. Hart Family suplexes are a personal favorite. The Ruby STO is good. Love the finish. No water in the pool for that awesome Ruby Riott senton, and she gets pinned off of it. Sasha Banks comes in, gets her knees in the corner. Maybe the best spot of the night. Banks reversing this powerbomb with a DDT.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. And they did a callback later. This was good, Alex.
Yeah, I liked that. And I also loved getting out of the sharpshooter by rolling through it and connecting Natty to the bottom turnbuckle, the back of Natty's head to the bottom turnbuckle. I thought that was really nice too. These two women work really well together. This is not a match you see very often. They've been on Raw together since the original draft, right? It feels like they have. They haven't had a lot of matches against each other.
Natalia spent time on SmackDown.
Okay. But Sasha has been Raw the entire time, and then when Natty came, it feels like they've been on Raw for years together, and I don't recall one-on-one matches between the two of them. They can have great stuff. Sasha's just phenomenal, and she can have matches with anybody.
I'd heard there's some frustration on Sasha's part based on her booking, and I was telling somebody who's a fan of hers, she should be frustrated.
Yeah.
Because I had a Sasha Banks fan say, well, I've heard that too. And is that going to get her in trouble? Is she going to get fired? And I said, no, she's not going to get fired.
She moves too much merch.
You think that they are going to risk her becoming the first major American female draw outside of WWE?
No, they're not going to.
Right now?
Never let that happen. No.
Unless she is audibly, like one wrestler last year, saying, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Then I doubt it. There's a great Meteora that Sasha hits. Banks goes for a rolling DDT again. This is after some half crabs and some Banks statements. There was a sharpshooter where Sasha sent Natalia's head into the buckle. It was really good work, technical match. It was, I don't want to say it was like Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, because it wasn't on that par, but it was worked very similarly, to the point to where Sasha used a half crab even at one point. So a lot of the same type of work there, and I thought it was really good. That German suplex was nice. Banks goes for that rolling DDT and walks into an alley-oop. If you all don't remember what that is, Big Show used to do it all the time. It's a power bomb where you just drop them flat on their face. Sharpshooter gets a submission. Excellent match. Rousey comes out after 53-minute match, which I really enjoyed, and raises Natalia's hand. Were you expecting Ronda Rousey to judo throw Natalya?
I was. If only because they need to read the room and realize that if she's going to feud with Becky at any point, she's not winning that crowd over. And leaning into it and having her show some heelish, ruthless tendencies might help matters. But I don't know how far in the future a Becky versus Ronda match is. I just know whenever that's happening, Becky is the crowd favorite in that match.
I cannot wait to see Rousey versus Natalya, a couple people that know each other, a couple people that like each other. We have Rollins, who gets a match with Corbin because Corbin blamed him for all of his troubles. Rollins punches him in the face. That's happening next week. Lots of stuff was made for, like, there was a lot of newsworthy stuff that came out of this show.
Sure.
Well, we've got SmackDown Live tomorrow night. We will be right here. Don't forget, we have the Fightful Listen Your Boy podcast. It is every Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, our flagship show. Tune in. If you want to really support us, leave us a thumbs up on this video. It goes so long in helping us. iTunes reviews help us. Comments help us. Sharing our articles, retweeting any of those really help us. A lot of ways you all can do that without even becoming subscribers of Fightful Select. You can comment on stories on Fightful.com. Just share our stuff. Like I said, we are an independent wrestling website and MMA website and boxing website, triple the cost of a lot of wrestling websites. And we're trying to do things the right way, bring you guys a lot of exclusive news. And we appreciate you guys being here. I hope you guys join me next week for the holiday editions of Raw and SmackDown. Oh boy, Alex, you'll be out of town. What do you got going on the next couple of weeks?
Wednesday morning early, me and the wife and the youngin are flying out to Oregon, spend time. I'm spending my first Christmas in my home state in like 10 years. So that'll be fun to spend. My parents love being grandpa and grandma, and so that'll be a lot of fun. And just pawning the Rugrat off on them for a while will be nice.
Mr. Warren Hayes will be joining me here and there on the podcast. He's joining me for the Wrestle Kingdom show. A programming note, guys, we will be doing that Wrestle Kingdom show 5 p.m. that day. I want to give you all time. Some of you don't get up and watch it in the wee hours of the morning, but you want to watch it live with us. You want to watch the podcast live with us. So we will be live at 5 p.m. that Friday. Make sure you guys tune in. Thank you guys so much for being here. Follow me at Sean Ross Sapp. Follow him at Pawlowski the 4th.